Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from 10 group. We'll discuss about race and ethnicity. And our presentation will consist of the definition of race and ethnicity, the differences between race and ethnicity in the United States and in the United Kingdom. And the first will be the definition of race and ethnicity. Race. According to Cambridge Dictionary, race is one of the main groups to which people are often considered to belong, based on physical characteristics that they are perceived to share, such as skin color, age, shape, and etc. And another source that I found from Encyclopedia Britannica said that race is the idea that the human species is divided into distinct groups on the basis of inherited physical and behavioral differences. So, the conclusion, race is understood by most people as a mixture of physical, behavioral, and cultural attributes. So it's also can be concluded that race is a group of people that are divided into or considered by the physical characteristics or behavioral or cultural attributes. And in other words, race is often perceived as something that is inherent in our biology and therefore inherited across generation. Next is the ethnicity definition. According to Cambridge Dictionary, ethnicity is a large group of people who have the same national, racial, or cultural origins or the state of belonging to such a group. And another source that I found from Merriam-Webster said that ethnicity is ethnic quality or affiliation, a particular ethnic affiliation or group. So the conclusion, ethnicity recognizes the differences between people mostly on the basis of language and shared culture, or in the other words, we can say that it is typically understood as something we acquire or self-ascribe based on factors like where we live or the culture we share with others.
Well, now I will explain the differences between race and ethnicity. As you can see on the screen, there are three main points that can differentiate race and ethnicity. First is, race is considered to be a biological classification based on DNA and bone structure, while ethnicity is considered to be a cultural identity based on common ancestry, language, and tradition. Second, race can sometimes be determined by the physical appearance. For example, if we have a friend who comes from Papua or Maluku, we can say that they belong to Negro Melanesia because based on their physical features, who belong Negroid race. Whereas the ethnicity of a person can be determined by the way a person dresses. For example, if you see a woman wearing a sari, you automatically assume that she is an Indian. But it is also important to notice that a person can hide his ethnicity by not conforming to the way of dressing unique to a particular ethnicity. And the last difference is, members of one race can join another race. How come? Yeah, for example, you are Mongolid, but you live in Europe who has majority Caucasoid race, and you want to join them. But still, you are considered a Mongolid because of your physical appearance. Thus, you cannot join them, you cannot join another race. Whereas ethnicity can join another ethnicity. An ethnic group can be further classified into clans or tribes. These clans or tribes might later form their own ethnicities, or some different ethnic groups might merge, forming one ethnicity. For example, in Indonesia, the diversity of ethnic can be exemplified by the existence of lineages. For instance, the father's lineage, known as patrilineal, which is embraced by the Batak tribe. The maternal or matrilineal line, which is adopted by the Sundanese tribe, and the existence of mixed ethnicity, which is a combination of the two different races, will shape a mix of ethnic groups. Another example is when the Sundanese people do not turn into Javanese, even though in their daily life they mingle and interact continuously with Javanese people. They might be classified as Javanese people that because of that condition, but still they are also Sundanese people. Therefore, it is possible for individuals to move from one ethnic group to another. So the conclusion is, race is narrower than ethnicity, while ethnicity is broader than race. Race is based on similar physical and biological attributes, while ethnicity is based on cultural expression and place of origin.
Okay, next is race and ethnicity in United States. First is racial groups. There is racial groups in United States. First is African American. African Americans currently largest minority groups in United States. Contemporary institutional discrimination and individual prejudice against African American rooted in history of slavery and rejected goal of assimilation into white middle class society. We can say with Black Power. Second is Native American. 5 million Native Americans represent diverse array of cultures distinguishable by language, family organization, religion, and livelihood. And this remains difficult for members of 554 tribal groups in the United States. So, in increased number claiming identity as Native American. Third is Asian American. Asian American comprise one of fastest growing segment of United States population, and Asian American often have up as model of ideal minority group. There is Asian American in United States. It is Vietnamese American, Chinese American, Japanese American, Korean American, and Arab American. Vietnamese American come to United States during and after Vietnam's war, and over time gravitated towards large urban areas. And Chinese American ensured to immigrate to United States from 1950 to 1880. Currently, about 27 million Chinese American live in United States. Next is Japanese American. I say it is the first generation of Japanese immigrants in United States. In August 1943, Japanese American forced into Hazley Boot camps in response to World War II. Next is Korean American. It is at 1-2 million population of Korean American exchange that of Japanese American. It is the diagram. Major Asian American groups in United States in 2000 years. You can see in the PPT. Next is Arab American. Up to 3 million people of Arab ethnicity reside in United States and cannot be characterized as having a specific family type, gender, role, and occupational pattern. Okay, the second is ethnic group. In United States have 3 ethnic groups. The first is Latinos, second is Jewish American, and the last is white ethnic. Latinos is the largest minority in United States. It is the most from Mexican Americans, and Latino is the largest population in United States. The next is Jewish American. Jewish American is constitute almost 3% of population. And the last is white ethnic. White ethnic is ancestor come from Europe in the last 100 years. Okay.
Next, we move to race and ethnicity in the United Kingdom. In general, there are several races in the world. There are Mongoloid, Negroid, Caucasoid, and some special races. The most prominent characteristic in general is the white skin color. This race is divided into 4 kinds. The first is Nordic Caucasoid. It is have tall body size, golden hair, blue eyes, and oval face shape. This race is found in the northern European region around the Baltic Sea. The next is Mediterranean Caucasoid. It is shorter body size than the Nordic. Have brown to black hair, brown eyes, and a round face shape. This race is found around the Mediterranean, North Africa, Armenia, and Saudi Arabia. The next is Caucasoid Finns. It is have body features between the Nordic and Mediterranean. They are found in Eastern Europe and Central Europe. The last is Caucasoid Indic. It is have small body size, yellow and brown skin color, but the face of the Caucasoid race. Have black eyes, black hair, oval and round faces. It is located in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and India. Based on the division of the Caucasoid races above, in general, most of the races that inhabit the regions of the European continent are Caucasoid races, including the race that inhabits the territory of Great Britain is a race of the Caucasoid Nordic family. The Nordic Caucasoid is a race that has tall body size, golden hair, blue eyes, and oval faces. This race is in the Northern European region. Ethnicity in the United Kingdom. Great Britain is an ethnically diverse society. The largest ethnic group is Great Britain is white British, followed by British people of Asian descent. As for the ethnicity itself, the original inhabitants of England were the Britons, which included the descendants of the Aryan tribe from India. One theory is that the Aryans originally came from India and found their way to Europe. This Aryan nation is of people who are less confrontational, They are a group of barbarians who love to fight and believe in many mystical things. I think enough for our explanation. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.